So if you are here to farm Oraxia before she farms you, you have come to the right place. I am Tipsy and today we are going over how to acquire the new spider frame Oraxia introduced in the latest update Idle Weaver, so let's just get into it. First off, Oraxia can be farmed in the new node called Idle Weaver, which is a fresh addition to Duvari, and to access this you need to complete the quest called the Hex, one of the latest quests in the game. To unlock the Hex, you will first need to complete both the Duvari Paradox quest and the Lotus Eaters quest, which can be found in the Codex. Once that is done, you will have full access to farming Oraxia and her weapons easily. Also, there's currently an ongoing event that lets you farm some cosmetics and arcanes too, which is a nice bonus while doing this. And this is called the 8 Claw event. Now once everything is ready, it is time to grind for Oraxia, which you can farm in the Idle Weaver node. There's also a pity shop which we'll touch on in a bit, but first let's go over the drops and how to get her blueprint parts in Idle Weaver. So each time you complete a full run of the Idle Weaver, meaning you defeat Oraxia and the Fractured One, and then open the chest at the end, you will get both a Rotation A reward and a Rotation B reward. And as shown here, that pretty much always means you get a blueprint of some kind. That being said, there's still a chance to get the Enigma Gyrom or Temporal Dust instead. Which by the way also drops from crates during the mission, so make sure to smash all of the crates along the way. Now for the B rotation reward we get something called the Scuttler Husk, which is a pity currency used to buy Oraxia's blueprints from the shop, if you get unlucky and don't get all her parts from the regular runs. So once you're done with the mission a few times, you should have gathered a handful of the Scuttler Husks, and maybe you're looking to spend them to buy the rest of the Oraxia parts you are missing, or maybe even one of her weapons. And to be able to find the Oraxia's pity shop, head into your Dormi zone where you will be able to find the new vendor Dominus Frax. He's also currently the 8 Claw event vendor, which means you will be able to buy the event items from him as well. But don't worry, if Dominus disappears after the event, Articus, the usual Duvari vendor, will also have a Oraxia shop, so you will also be able to exchange your Scatter Husk at the Arcatis shop. Just click the Exchange Scuttler Husk to open the Oraxia shop up. In this shop you will be able to buy all of Oraxia's blueprint. Her main blueprint costs 60 Husk and the other parts cost 20 Husk, and that is for her main blueprint, while there's also the weapon blueprints and some scenes in here as well. Farming for Oraxia shouldn't take too long, since you have a decent chance of getting her blueprints during the mission, plus if you're still running on Steel Path or get lucky with B rotation on normal, you can earn 20 plus Husk per run, meaning you could buy a part after every run. That means Oraxia is pretty easy and quick to acquire, as long as you have completed the main questline of Warframe. I personally recommend farming for her first and only using the pity shop once you're ready to buy everything at once. That way you won't waste any Husk buying the part that might drop on your very next run. So how long would it take to farm Oraxia and her weapons? Well, as mentioned before, you almost always get one blueprint per run, which could be part of the Oraxia one or her weapons, or 2 resources that drop instead. Each run takes around 15 to 25 minutes depending on your pace. So in the best case scenario, if RNG really loves you, you could get her main blueprint and 20 Husk in your very first run, and then one of her component parts and another 20 Husk in your second one. That would technically be enough to build her already there. Which technically means it could take you just 2 runs or around 30 to 50 minutes to farm her completely, but yeah, that is the dream run. Now in the worst case scenario, you have to fully rely on the pity system, meaning you get 0 drops from her and need to buy every single part using the Scuttler Husks. You will need around 120 Husks in total for Oraxia, 60 for the main blueprint and 20 for each of her 3 parts, and that would take you around 7 to 8 runs depending on how many Husks you earn per run. Of course, if you run Steel Path or is really lucky getting the 20 plus Husk per run, it would take you only 6 runs to get a complete set of Oraxia. So we are talking about 1.5 hours to just over 3 hours to get enough for her if RNG truly hates you. And now for her weapons, each full set costs 96 Husk, and if you want everything from the shop excluding the captures, you will need around 408 Scuttler Husks in total. And that is with Oraxia and her weapons. Of course, this number will likely be lower since each one gives you a blueprint drop, reducing the number of Husk you need to actually acquire everything. So yeah, in just a few hours of farming, it is totally possible to get everything you need from Oraxia's shop, especially if you're pushing full runs and smashing crates along the way. So when it comes to crafting Oraxia, we need to do some resource farming in Duvari, which means it can take a bit of time, especially if you haven't explored much of Duvari yet. or don't have any leftover resources, but let's break it down, shall we? First off, every part of Oraxia requires temporal dust, and this is a resource you get from destroying crates during the Isle Weaver mission, along with the Entradi Opals and the Necrocoils, which are most commonly found in crates in the Albric's laboratory missions, but you can also get them in the Isle Weaver mission crates. So yeah, don't forget to clear out the crates while farming, they are pretty important in that manner. Also, as you don't have a companion in the Isle Weaver missions, be sure you are picking up the crate drops to gather all the resources. And now for the real grind, the Kovnik, the Agristone and the Tasoma extract. Those are 3 resources that are commonly found in the normal Duvari, but can also be dropped from objectives that are completed in Duvari. And I'm also gonna assume that you already know how to farm the other generic resources, or probably have them if you have already completed most of Warframe's story, as those are resources from the normal game. And each of their locations are shown by hovering over the resource. So first is the Kovnik, which is usually found across the top 3 large islands in Duvari. I've marked them here on the map as seen here. And the resource nodes are a bushy little glowing tree, which when destroyed drops a few Kovniks. So just run around on your cave and gather all the resources. While you're doing this, I also recommend just getting all resources you see, as you might need them in the future, but this one should be fairly quick to gather. Then we have the Tasoma extract, which is a little bit trickier as it can only be found in caves, also marked on the map here. And these look like a spores room coming up from the ground, and destroying these will then gain you your Tasoma extract. While not a lot of these nodes are spawned in normally, it could take a bit of time while gathering the Tasoma extract, especially without a resource booster. So once you have cleared out all the caves or a good chunk of them, it could be idea to just reset the instance by completing a degree objective, which saves your inventory loot, and then you will be able to leave the missions with the resources you have gathered so far. And lastly is the Agristone, which you can usually find pretty much anywhere and around buildings, and looks like a small rocky structure. So while looking for the Kovnik and the Tasoma extract, you should be able to find a chunk of these around as well. So I would recommend before farming for any of these to set your mode to solo and then head into the Duvari experience to be able to freely farm for what you need. And once you are ready to leave, just complete one of the degree objective, and that will save your progress, and you can then extract with all of your resources you have gathered so far. And by that I mean you can actually leave the mission without completing it, as you have completed a degree that will save your progress. Also, most of these resources are also needed for the Incarn weapons, so they are good to stock up on. And a quick summary for the resources so far. The temporal dust can be found in crates in Isle Weaver missions, the Entradi Opals and the Necrocoils can be found in crates in the Albric's labs and Isle Weaver missions. Then the Kovnik is a yellow looking bush that can be found on the top 3 large islands in Duvari. The Agristone is a rocky structure which can be found almost anywhere, also near buildings in Duvari. And lastly, the Tasoma extract is a spore-like room that can only be found in caves around Duvari. So it might take you some time farming for these resources, so good luck on your gathering quest to craft your new spider frame. And that's it, now you know how to get your spider warframe, and soon you will be able to run around with your little Oraxia. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and if you want more Warframe tips, don't forget to like and subscribe for future content. And check out my other videos as well. Currently we have a full progression beginner guide running, so if you're new or looking for a refresh, that is something you could look into. We also have a Discord server, so feel free to hop in there and become part of the community. So stay tuned, stay tipsy, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.